Item number 9, Communication 16-66, presentation of the 2016 Karl Neid Award to Metric Giles.
Well, and I want to welcome all of our guests who are here to help us celebrate the Karl Neid Award, and including Mayor Coleman, who's going to kick us off here up at the podium. Welcome, Mayor.
Well, thank you so much, Council President Stark and members of the council. And the first thing I want to do, of course, is to thank the committee once again for their incredible work in selecting the 2016 Karl Neid Award winner. You know, this has been one of the highlights of every year that I've been mayor, is to recognize a city employee that, in the best tradition of Karl Neid, not only works on behalf of the city through kind of the actual employment in the city, but also works on behalf of the community in a lot of different aspects of it. Over the years, we've seen folks that have worked with Boy Scouts and church groups and libraries and mentoring programs and various things. But this year, and I've loved getting to know every winner that we've had. This year I have a special treat because I don't have to get to know this winner. It's someone that I have known for many, many years, ever since I was a young activist in the Frogtown neighborhood. Having first moved there in 1985 and then kind of getting involved more in, after I graduated from law school, started getting involved in the district council and Community Development Corporation and various neighborhood groups, and always present in almost everything was Metric Giles. And what was really interesting was he was just such a calm presence. Steady and strong, but calm, and just had a commitment and a passion to so many different things. A passion to justice, a passion to equity, a passion to making his neighborhood better. He has done that just steadily over all of these years. More recently, very involved in the It Stops for All, the campaign to make sure that the Green Line served everyone, not just passing through the community, but really serving the community. That was a huge monumental shift in thinking, not just on the local level. That was a national shift in thinking, because the voices of the community were lifted up, were heard in Washington, D.C., and policy was changed. It doesn't seem sometimes that ever works that way, but I think there's no question that Metric's calm presence and very firm voice was a part of that process. He's also been involved in the Frogtown Gardens and just so many different aspects. I could be here all day talking about the work that he's done. And through it all, he's been a stellar employee at the at St. Paul Water Department, which I didn't even know until more recently, that because I knew all about his community work. That was the one aspect I guess I never asked him, where do you work? So shocked me to find out that he works for us, and can be counted on through that. It was a great pleasure to go out and present this award to Metric, and I'm just so honored that he is the 2016 recipient. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And yeah, I'll just add, I've also known Metric for a number of years, and it's really, this award is always a special day, but to, as the Mayor said, to actually have worked pretty closely with the person who's receiving the award makes it extra special for me as well. And to add to what the Mayor said, I was there, I remember in Boston, Metric and I were at this conference called Revolution, and he and a group of about three other people literally just like, I saw them, they streamed across the room to go talk to the head of the Federal Transit Administration and talk to him about this issue of the stops on the Green Line that were going to mean a lot for the community. And at the time, a lot of folks in the community didn't even think the Green Line was a good idea if it wasn't going to include those stops. The federal government and the person of Peter Rogoff heard that, and that started the conversation that led to a whole series of changes in how the federal government does business around light rail. That was just one moment in decades of community service, but to me that one moment meant a whole lot for our community and its future. And so I just personally want to thank Metric for everything he's done for our community for these many years. And I also want to now call up Joanne Tromzek-Neid to say a few words and present the award. Joanne, welcome.
Oh, it's good to be here for the 24th time. When I met Karl, he was aide to a city council member, Ron Maddox. And then after Ron was out of office, Karl was on the planning commission. So I knew him that way, that he had this contact in the city. And then all these connections that he had in volunteering, just like you, Metric. The day we did the surprise visit to let Metric know that he was the recipient, his list of his volunteering that you heard some of a little bit ago was as long as Karl's list was. If someone had to say, let's give him an award for everything he's done, who would have been able to come up with everything? These two men really cared about people, their involvement in community was stellar. And so as I said to Metric, I say it again today, you and Karl are brothers. Truly, truly. And when I read the nomination form, what came out to me was Metric's desire that there be equality for everybody and every element of creation. So his involvement in the environment and community involvement is close to my heart, and I know Karl would be proud today. Here celebrating with him is Metric's family. Could they stand? Let's see his family that was able to come today. And then also with me representing Karl's family is his sister Trudy. Celebrating with us are past recipients. Who was able to be here today? Any past recipients? Rick Zeck. And over here? Chris Ryder. So those are 2 of the 24. And it is my great joy to say congratulations, Metric, on being this year's recipient.
Oh, sure, you get to give them the gift certificate, the fun stuff. I'll present this to you. 24th Annual Karl Neid Award presented to Metric Giles in recognition of his exceptional performance as an employee of the City of St. Paul and for his caring involvement in commitment to the community, awarded the 2nd day of November 2016 by yours truly, Christopher Coleman. Thank you so much, Metric.
Well, I would definitely say I feel very humbled today, very much so. And I want to start by giving honor and recognition to God. God who has provided me with so many first and second and third chances in life, bringing people into my life. This would not happen without those people in my life. You know, I want to really give recognition to the Neid family for a city that recognizes all the countless people who are out here doing this work, taking the time to honor not one person. This represents not just me. It represents the many people who are doing this. So I want to say thank you to the family and to the city. You know, what the mayor said about me being this kind of passive person, I had to learn how to do that. I remember real early in life, I was at a meeting over at the Loft Teen Center. and we were talking about the acquisition of land. And we wanted everyone to live in the community, but my message was, if we can't all live here, then we have to go and do it by other ways. And I lifted this box off of that was on the table. It was a house. Two guys came up from the attendants, and they set the house on fire. It was like, my message was, if we can't all live here, maybe we have to do it another way. What I learned from that was, we don't always have to agree, but the most important piece is to be able to deliver messages that can be received. That if we can't deliver a message that can be received, no matter how much passion you have, it doesn't work. No, you have to be able to have correct communication. So that's been a really good thing for me. And then there's the Community Stabilization Project. I want you guys to hear this. Community Stabilization Project, St. Paul Almanac, the Dispute Resolution Center, Circle of Peace. These are organizations that I'm very heavily invested in. I would like for everyone here to go and find out what these organizations are. Now, there's a lot of other organizations. There's been institutional and government organizations, but those particular organizations, you know, what people say is capacity. They're working at very minimal capacity dollars. And we're really working hard to do the work that is complementary to the systems and the institutions. So if you want to honor me and invest in me and the work I'm doing, check out those organizations. The Community Stabilization Project, St. Paul Almanac, the Dispute Resolution Center, Circle of Peace, great organizations that are bringing us all together. I say I grow food and relationships. This is all about relationships. So in closing, I have to say, one of the reasons, that I have this today is because of my family. First, I want to make a correction. It's not Giles, it's Giles. G-I-L-E-S, soft G, just for the record, Giles. You know, before, it was proud for me to be an African. I was proud to be a Giles, so that's a very important thing. I am a Ghanaian American from the Asante tribe from the continent of Africa. I'm also a Minnesotan, and what I'm really proud to be today is a St. Paulite. I think that's very important. But the reason I'm up here, and who I have to dedicate this to, this is Ethel Giles. She's the mother of my children. And when I was running around, just being off an impulse, she was the one that believed in me. And this is for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that Metric. For those of you that know Metric or don't, you'll know that he definitely does not seek the spotlight we just put him in. And the work usually goes on pretty quietly and behind the scenes, and I think that speaks even more to the significance of that work. So we're all going to go check out those organizations, those of us not familiar with them, and those of us that are, and honor your work. Thank you very much. There's a reception just outside the chambers here, and we've got some more business to do inside here for the council, but we welcome you to join us outside the chambers for cake and drinks. Thank you.
Mr. President, could I just,
And before you go, Mr. Bostром's got a few words.
I just wanted to mention that as long as Joanne is here today, I think it's fairly significant. You mentioned this is the 24th time that this has been awarded. I recall 25 years ago, this past weekend, was the weekend that Karl was out campaigning for the seat on the city council. That was the weekend that we had the Halloween blizzard. It was about this deep out there, and there were literally dozens and dozens of folks over on the east side that got out on that miserable weather and went out and handed out his literature. And it was just one of those things that it's nobody believed that we'd get a turnout like that, but it was just fabulous, the support for him. And it was again, it's a shame that Karl only served about 4 months on the city council. But in that period of time, he made a tremendous impact, and it continues to live today. So congratulations, Mr. Giles. And Joanne, thanks again for bringing this to our attention. God bless you.